this is such a horrific case. Justin Leto, another outrage is that both of these men who were convicted in this horror were on probation for the same crime, breaking and entering and larceny, but the probation officer never checked in with Lawrence Lovett. May have spoken to him on the phone, but there was never any in-person contact. Lawrence Lovett was 17 at the time of this crime. To unleash somebody who has a criminal history at that young an age onto society without ever checking up on them again is almost, in my opinion, a prescription for disaster. It doesn't in any way excuse or condone the heinous and unimaginable horror of what they did. But our society has to become more proactive with violent young offenders who are repeat offenders and not just let them onto the street without any oversight.
I totally agree. I mean, the fact that this young man was not checked up on and just was left to basically commit this horrible crime shows that there's a real problem in the system. I don't know if it's budgetary constraints, if there's too many people for them to have to watch over, but I don't know how they could just never check on him. And the disgusting nature of this crime shows just what kind of people these are. These are exactly the kind of people that need to be monitored, need to be watched, and I'm sure there was plenty of telltale signs. This is not something that just arose out of nowhere. The way they killed this girl was so torturous and so disgusting to leave her on the street like that. There has got to be a litany of things that have happened before that should have sent signals that this kid needed to be watched and needed to be watched very closely as opposed to just letting him run free.
Yeah, and the whole idea that there isn't a budget to have a probation officer watch somebody who's released like this is outrageous and idiotic on its face, because look how much money the state has spent catching and prosecuting these two and housing them for the rest of their life behind bars. If we don't get more proactive about stopping these things before they happen, first of all, a priceless life was lost in a hideous fashion. And secondly, it's more costly on every single parameter you could measure to wait till after a horror is committed.
Exactly.
One of the things that I want to talk about after the break is that this young woman who devoted her life to helping others, and Hannah, back with me, Steve Norton, editor-in-chief, the Daily Tar Heel UNC school paper. You're there in the Chapel Hill, North Carolina area. Is there talk of this controversy of the system dropping the ball vis-a-vis these two young men who both had criminal records, rap sheets at the time that they were running around on probation and committed this crime?
Well, the conversation hasn't been extremely loud, but it has definitely shown up in a lot of media reports, including our own. We took a look at the probation system and found that over the past couple of years, they really have been trying to implement better standards for sort of watching out for these people, but that with increased caseloads, it's becoming, that much tougher even when they put standards in place to try to make it better.
Yeah, but as I mentioned before, increased caseloads can be vitiated with more funds, and it's all taxpayer money. The taxpayer money that it costs to prosecute these cases is enormous. So it's short-sighted thinking to say, well, we don't have money to fund probation officers, especially when you're dealing with teen defendants who have a history at a very young age of violent and criminal behavior, who obviously have no skills to go out and to turn their life around without being guided in some way. Any thoughts on this, Justin Leto?
Well, not to get too political, Jane, but this is our country, and this is what we're going through right now. It's like we have what you're saying right here. It calls for more taxes and more money, but there is no money. So, we are a reactionary society at this point where we're prosecuting crimes when they happen instead of doing our best to prevent them before they actually happen. The only way to prevent them is, like you said, through, increased measures in probation, training these people, trying to do things to keep them off the streets. All of that costs money, and if the money's not there, you're sort of in the catch-22. Then these things happen, and then we're in a situation where now we're prosecuting the crime.
And Jane, where do municipalities cut first? Probation, parole, teachers, police officers, firefighters. They're the first budgets to get axed.
You're absolutely right. And this is a wake-up call. A priceless loss was life lost. A family devastated. There is no closure for this family. They are going to be living in a hellish existence forever because of this horror. And we have to really look at how we deal with these situations to prevent it from happening to another young woman. That's it for us. Thanks for joining us.